Good afternoon. Surrounded by four-wheelers. We are westbound and down I-70. I can't move. This guy cutting me off. Had to get in front of me just so he could slow down. Makes a dangerous situation even worse. Apologize for that. Ridiculous. Become hover. That's why you don't want to stay around trucks. They want to. You're going to slow down, get in the right lane. Torrential rain again. I'm a little bummed. I just did a video up on Vale Pass. Just lined up a little bit better. Up in the mountains with the trees and all that good happy stuff. A little bit of rain, not like this, but a little rain, and didn't have the microphone plugged in all the way. So I'm a little bit more than bummed, actually kind of upset about it, to the point of I'm going to go spend the big bucks. I'm going wireless. I'm not going to mess around with this stuff anymore. I had issues with the wireless because I didn't know which one to buy. It can be kind of pricey, so you need to get the right stuff, and you can't go to a store and talk to somebody in the know, because that just doesn't exist. Used to with Radio Shack. I don't even think Radio Shack exists anymore, but don't quote me on that because I don't know. Crossing the Colorado River. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with the video. I mean, it's still, you can hear me, but it's kind of like my voice is in the background and all the surrounding noise is in the foreground. Kind of like this video, my voice is the foreground and all the rest of the stuff is the background. It's just opposite. You could still hear me okay, I guess, if you crank up the volume. But I don't think that needs to be, you shouldn't have to do that. That's why I use microphones. But now I'm going to have to trash, archive, or put aside that one video. Maybe I'll let you guys decide on that, whether I should post it or not. I'm so bad though at reading, and I apologize. Like I can read, of course, but it's not a strong point of mine. Not much something I find pleasure in. Like somebody goes, oh, just grab a good book and sit down and relax. Like, yeah, I don't do that. I don't grab a book and move into another dimension, I guess. I understand it, don't get me wrong. It's just not something that I do. So I apologize for not reading my comments. I'm going to get better at it. I'm going to start. I did do it for a while. I was answering, responding, and it was just a lot of work. And when you think you put a dent in it, you haven't even faced it. And after like a couple hours of doing it, I'm like, yeah, I put a nice dent in this comment section, and no, I didn't phase it. And I'm appreciative and humbled by it as well. I never expected anything like this to happen. I didn't set out to do that. I never set out to do this, what I'm doing right now. Like I said, originally I made a video to mock truckers, make fun of truckers for driving in the snow. Well, because they were afraid of the snow. And then I realized I was the one that was in the wrong, and that I should be right and explain to help people understand and show people how to drive big rigs and eventually cars in snow. So that's how it evolved. A lot of you know that already, but anyway. That first video was brutal. I took it down. I wish now I would have archived it, but it's gone, so can't do much after that. Anyway, river there to Colorado running pretty low at the moment. I know I've done videos in the canyon before where she was just raging Cajun, and that's what I like. That's what we like. That's what it likes. Adjusting my wrong button, my camera, trying to adjust it around. So it's just on the tripod. It's just a matter of turning it a little bit, but I'm in the process of paying attention to traffic around me and things that I'm doing. So that's why the video is kind of popping around like it is. I'm trying to adjust at my leisure with it. First major point is driving, obviously. Anyway, so yeah, like I'll get better at doing that. I need to, but like I said, I'm so busy. And, you know, I know there's going to be bad comments in there. And that's just the way the world works. If Jesus Christ had a channel, you'd get hate mail. So it doesn't bother me when people say stuff. They don't know me, so I don't know how they can say anything. That's why I don't pay no attention to it. And it kind of got to the point too where, like, if I don't read it, I don't have to deal with the energy of it all, of the bad comment, bad energy. And I do take criticism. And I'm humble. If I make a mistake, I'm the first one to say it, man, I'm sorry, It's like yesterday, was it yesterday, the day before? Today's Friday. You guys probably know better than I do. Where's Jackie? She died like a month earlier, and he was looking for her, the president. Well, obviously that's something wrong there. But instead of saying, "Oh, yep, he just made a mistake," and and admit it, and then go on from there, KGP, the White House spokesman, sits there and spins it. Top of mind. It's like 15 times. Top of mind. No, and that's deflection. If I mess up, I'm the first one to say, "Well, I did it. And I'm going to own it." And it's good to have criticism so you can understand another person's point of view. But when it gets blatantly done with anger and hate, then I just don't like to. I try to be in a good vibe all the time, so I don't like to be around negative stuff. When things happen, things go wrong, things happen, I just deal with it. I don't freak out. I don't get mad. I try not to. I'm getting better at it. It's an evolution. It's an evolving process. I'd like to think I'm coming along fairly decently, but I've been changing my whole way of thinking and dealing with things. You know, just like, I'll give you an example. Last night, yesterday, I went up to Granby to my tax gal, get my taxes finished up, filed an extension, got it done, and I absolutely hate it. I'm sick of paying taxes. You think about it, you make $1, they take a percentage. You spend it, they take another percentage. Every time you turn around, they're taking a percentage. You know, it's just, I don't like it. I'm tired of it. But what can I do? Let them take everything I own if I don't let them rob me. Anyway, off the subject. So I show up at the tax office. I got the V in the garage over here in Junction. I-70 westbound and down. I don't know if I already said that, but on our way to Seattle. Kind of early, so I'm going to swing by the house, spend the night, feel that. But I'll put a new toy on, I'll tell you that in a minute. But anyway, I get up, and took the Jeep and took it up to Granby, and I'm sitting at the office, the engine's running, I'm in park, and I'm grabbing my documents, and I'm like, what is that noise? They said the engine's running. I'm like, what is that noise? It's come and go, come and go. So I popped the hood, looked at it real quick, and saw the pulley on my water pump wobbling back and forth with the noise coming out of it back and forth. Quiet, noisy, quiet, noisy. And I'm like, okay, fuel pump. I just put in a new radiator and a new thermostat. And I told my, it's because I had an overheating issue with the Jeep. So I solved it that way. And I told my son, I go, man, I'm a moron, or more off. I should have put a new serpentine belt whilst I was there, because the serpentine belt, you have to take off the fan clutch from one of the pulleys. I forget which one it is. And the water pump doesn't have anything on it except a pulley. It's fed off the belt. But anyway, it's kind of hard to take that fan off, but I go, oh, I forgot to put a new belt on. I should have. Well, what I should have done was put a new belt on and a new water pump just because I was there. But was it leaking? No problem, no salt, no worries. Anyway, I'm making a short story long. I went up there and found out my water pump was bad, or going bad, still working. Temperature's running cool, everything's fine. It's just wobbling and grinding, and you know what that is. It's a bearing. It heats up. When does it go? Nobody knows. So I go into the tax office and dealing with my tax agent, and in the back of my mind, the pump is going through my brain. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Am I mad? No. Am I angry? No. It's just, it's a problem that I now have to fix. So just fix the problem. And so I get out, and then I'm done, and I go, okay, I'm going to go to the auto parts store. I want to fix this in Denver. I don't know if it'll make it to Denver. Well, let me get the parts up here. And that way, if it breaks down on the highway, I've got all the parts, I can fix it. Talking to my oldest son, and he's like, just fix it up there, don't mess around. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know, I don't really have a place to fix it, but you know, I'll ask him over there. I need to go buy a couple tools. I'll ask him at Auto Parts if I can do it in their lot, which I did, and they said yes. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And glad they did, because the first guy that gave me the parts initially, because I bought the parts, I left, and then I came back. He gave me for a Jeep, a Grand Cherokee instead of a Cherokee. So it didn't fit. And I was right there. And before I actually took it apart, I checked the water pump and compared it to mine. And that's when I noticed things aren't adding up. And I went back in there and I go, hey, I think I got the wrong pump. And of course I did. So I took it back out there. Now, make sure they had the right part is why I didn't tear anything apart yet. And they did. So then I proceeded to rebuild it, or replace it, I should say. And when I got to the serpentine belt on the reassembly, serpentine belt was wrong also. Obviously, if he's going to give me the wrong pump, the wrong belt's going to go with it. So the other guy hooked me up, and anyway, I was able to get it fixed and made it back down to Denver. And the only issue I have is my belt was a little loose, so I tightened it up. Now it might be a little tight, so I'll have to readjust it. But anyway, I got back to Denver last night, and here we go. Hang on. Woo! We're in the ocean now. So got her back down to Denver, and it was all good. And it was an issue, meaning I had a problem, and instead of freaking about it and getting all upset and ranting and raving and drawing all this negative energy, it was just like, you have an issue, just deal with it. And deal with it I did. Killdozer coming out of Granby. JK. Anyway, so yeah, I got her all back together. It runs nice and quiet. And I was also glad that I did do that, because I did not buy there's a tube that comes off the water pump and goes up and back towards the firewall. So like an upside down L, if you will. And that's an inlet feed for your for the heating system, for the heater core. It goes into the firewall, into the engine core, into the cabin, underneath the glove box, behind the glove box. Goes through there and then goes back out to the engine, and that's where you get your hot air coming off of that. The little blower blows air on that, blows it in. Anyway, that one that was on there was pretty rusted, almost to the point of where I feel like if I had a good set of pliers, I could crush it, and maybe it would rupture and break in half. Or anyway, and I didn't buy that initially, so I went back in there and I go, do you guys have this part? Yep, they have it. I'm like, nice. So it was well good that I fixed it there and not on the highway. So anyway, yeah, I try to keep into the good vibes and energies and stuff. And granted, I'm not saying I don't read them because of the bad comments. I just try to shy away from it. But I will get better at it. You guys say if you want me to post that video or not. You can hear it. It's just not. The GT, yeah. I don't know if it's a 15 or not. It's just my voice is in the background versus being in the foreground. Turn it up, you can still hear me, but anyway, I'm going to buy a cordless microphone. I've done a little research before, but never pulled the trigger. I think it's like $150 or something like that. I figure I'm going to have to do that so I don't keep dealing with these issues. I stopped real quick to get something to eat, and I just checked it out real quick, and I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound very good. Very good at all. Let me see. So I did a test, and obviously my microphone was plugged into the phone, but it wasn't plugged in the 3.5 all the way. It was plugged in, just not all the way, and that's the stuff that gets me. You should double check that stuff. Anyway, so I bought a cold air intake for the Cadillac, Rotofab, and that got delivered today. So I'm going to put that on tonight or tomorrow before we take off back for Seattle. I don't know if I have to get a tune after I put a cold air intake on, but I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Increase of 20 horsepower just with a bolt-on thing like that. I know one thing, in wintertime, that cold air from just being cold outside turns her into a lean, mean horsepower machine. And you can literally break your tires loose at 60, 65 down the freeway. State Trooper hanging in the middle. This Mustang was doing good, and then he slowed down. 75, it's not 65. Now he's speeding up again. Maybe he just doesn't want to be by me. Doesn't want me passing him. Much needed rain again. And yeah, like I haven't been doing any videos. There's a few I've done. I need to go through and post them, but I've been running really hard. So I haven't been able to do that. Like yesterday, I just came in from being out on the road for a couple of weeks running hard, and then I went and did my taxes, and then the water pump, which that time could have been used to doing some editing, but was taken away by the need for repair, so we just deal with that. But yeah, with winter time coming, snowfall funning, we'll get up and running a regular scheduled program. Well, don't keep me to that. But yeah, I'll be putting them out more so than I have been. So yeah, I've been doing this studying stuff a little bit about the universe and E equals MC squared and all this other stuff, and I come across this guy Neville Goddard, Goddard. He kind of opened my eyes to some things that I've always felt but never knew. That's why I always had a distance with religion. The religions I was dealt with, forced religion when I was a child to be a certain type of religion, and then realizing I think it's completely wrong, and then looking at other ones, and then looking at, wow, I think it's completely wrong. And this is the first time I'm starting to feel of a sense of, well, now everything seems to fit and make sense and feel right. And they're just saying that you create your reality through your mind, your subconscious. The only way you know you're here on this planet is because of your senses. Sight, smell, taste, touch, hear. So they say that, and he's not the only one, there's a bunch of different people that say you control, a lot of times without even realizing. Your subconscious cuts you down because you were taught the first 7 years of your life stuff that you know, you're going to live your life from then on. And if it was bad advice, you have a bad advice life. So the things that you want in life, you can have. You just have to believe, and believe that you already have it. And so I'll deal with the mind and the energy, and since E equals MC squared, energy equals mass, mass equals energy, and everything is energy. If you think about it, this planet is alive because it's energy. You take a rock, you go to the atomic level, it's down to the atomic level, that's energy. And it's just weird stuff, but finally it's starting to make sense. So they're just talking about how to think and feel your life how you want it to be. Like it says in the Bible, ask and you shall receive. And there's a show called The Secret that I always liked, but they never showed you how to do it. They just told you how to do it. Like, if you think that you're gonna not have money to make your mortgage, then you just told the universe that don't give him money for the mortgage because he said he's not gonna have it. And they go, all you do is believe that you have it, and the universe will give it to you. And it's just weird stuff. But like Neville Goddard goes, you have to act like you already have it, whether you do or not, and not worry about it. The universe will give it to you. But anyway, I've been on that mission trying to figure this stuff out for a long time, my whole life actually. I think I got kind of a grip on it to a degree. But that's why when I have issues now, I just don't deal with it. I mean, I don't let it affect me in a negative way. I just deal with it, you know? And it's so much better. I feel so much better, you know. Even when I had a few issues doing the water pump on the Jeep yesterday, made it nice that I was right there at the auto parts store. Didn't have to jump in the vehicle back and forth, keep going there and back. It's like, oh, I was just here. Oh, I was just here. And I know, how many times did I depart the lane right here, huh? That was my lane departure warning. I absolutely hate that stupid thing. But it's like the adaptive cruise control. I hate that thing too. You end up driving the speed of the guy in front of you. It should be follow the leader, or wait, follow the person. Not adaptive cruise, just follow the person in front of you. So yeah, I was saying stuff like a lot of the stuff in the Bible tells you how to do that. But then there's a lot of the stuff that's stories, you know, like they say, the greatest story ever told. But anyway, I don't need to go into all that stuff, but we are almost to, actually we are in Grand Junction. I gotta figure out, think about this for a minute. If I'm gonna take the trailer over to Fruta and drop it there, and then bobtail back to the house, or take the whole big rig assembly to the house, which I can do, but the thing that gives me hesitation is all this rain. It might make the side a bit muddy, but we are light and there is gravel there, so I don't know, I gotta think about it. I'll think about it and get some more videos going again. Mostly get the ones I've already filmed, edited, and up and running. So we'll get that done soon. I know I always say that, but with that being said, thanks again for riding shotgun with Mountain Man Mike. Till the next time, enjoy. Peace. Nice clean windshield, eh? See ya.